trying that shit on me. 'Cause I still can't sleep without medication, and I let my thoughts run wild while I still think I got one, and I care too much about my reputation, and I'm tired of sleeping on this floor.
Hey everyone, Anthony with Interviews with Everyday People, here today with another interview. You'll definitely enjoy this one. Try to get some eyes on it. It's a local movie that was done in the area called Back Road. But before we get into that, if you guys like anything you hear, obviously we always say it, but the links will be below. So if you want to check out the page, the trailer on YouTube, check out any of his other stuff we got going on, check that out. We also do have our merch page is going. I'm going to have a hard time hearing myself here. Our merch page, as well as everything else below, obviously. But do you want to give yourself a quick introduction?
Yeah, my name's Drew Pizzo, writer and director of Back Road. I'm partnered up with Thomas Smith of Sick and Twisted Effects to make Sick and Twisted Cinema. And these are our two movies, Back Road, which is a feature-length horror film, and Hunting for Justice, which is a short horror film, horror thriller. And that's what we do for life, you know, making movies.
So it was kind of cool because we definitely got to talk a little bit before we sat down. But you're a Monte City boy. Well, Monte area. I went to Monte area.
Monte area.
Golden Bears, baby.
You know, born and raised in Barnesville, which is close enough, I guess. Wanted to make movies since I was a little kid. Picked up a camera and never put it down. So now we have a feature-length film and a short film, and we're ready to, you know, show the world.
Yeah. Now, I'm just going to switch headphones here because for some reason I can't hear anything on that one.
No problem.
Do everything on the fly. That's kind of how we roll here. Check, check. All right, I hear better on this one. Let's give myself a little bit here. All right. Yeah, so what inspired you to start making horror movies? What was the first horror movie you seen that you're like, this is it?
You know, I have a couple, but the biggest one would have been Night of the Living Dead, 1968.
Okay.
I probably was maybe 5 or 6 years old. You know, my parents would buy me a VHS. You know, that's old school. And one of the first ones was Night of the Living Dead. And it was a joint gift because my dad's birthday is the day after mine. And I got the Night of the Living Dead box set. Came with Night of the Living Bread. And, you know, I watched it and just fell in love with it, you know. Fell in love with the whole zombie, you know, flesh-eating zombies. And fell in love with George A. Romero, who went off to make, you know, Dawn of the Dead, which I absolutely love. Day of the Dead, I love. Creep Show, I love. You know, anything with Romero's name, I love it.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty much the beginning of the whole filmmaking career. But, you know, about 12, 13, I started picking up the camera and actually making crappy short films, you know, and videos and stuff like that. And it was always like horror based. And, you know, I found out you could actually do it for a living. It's not the best living, but I love what I do.
Yeah.
You know?
It's funny you say that because one of my all-time favorite movies is Dawn of the Dead and Night of the Living Dead.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're my top three. Well, top one. I count it as one film, you know, Night, Dawn, and Day.
Yep.
I mean, I could watch them over and over for the rest of my life.
Here's a really funny story. So I'm obviously if you're a horror movie fan, and you're a fan of those genres, they were all shot pretty much right outside of Pittsburgh. So Romero's a PA guy. So pretty much the birthplace of the zombie is Pennsylvania.
Yep.
So Night of the Living Dead was shot right outside of Pittsburgh. And then obviously Monroeville is where Dawn of the Dead was shot, inside the mall. I've always wanted to go to Monroeville Mall.
I've been there.
Right.
It's fun. It's not the same.
It's not. They changed a lot. Yeah. So they supposedly there's a place in like right outside of Monroeville that has like some of the props and stuff, and it's like a museum they have.
I don't know about
and they have
that.
like a zombie mini golf. It's all this really neat stuff. But you have to look for it. But a lot of people from Monroeville don't even know it ever happened.
Wow.
Like the newer generation, they have no idea.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to me. And then there was a cool callback because I'm also a huge Kevin Smith fan. They did Zack and Marie Make a Porno, and that was shot in that took place in Monroeville.
Yep.
And the one character's wearing the Monroeville Zombies hockey team because in the movie there's a hockey rink that's no longer existed there in the mall. But rewind all that. So we go to see Steel Panther. We're gonna drive to Pittsburgh and we're gonna go see Steel Panther play, and I'm super excited.
Oh, nice.
So we see the show, and on the way home I'm like, can we stop at Monroeville? She's like, 100%. You can finally go see the mall.
Yep.
We pull in. I'm like, it's a Sunday. Why the fuck is the mall closed? I'm like, it's a Sunday. Like, it's closed. We're not religious. We're not holiday people. It was Easter Sunday. So the weekend
boy.
I'm finally in that area, it's Easter Sunday. The mall's closed. So it was like Dawn of the Dead. The mall was completely empty. And I looked at it from the entrance and never got to go in.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, I wanted to see it so bad.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen.
I mean, I was there, and like, you can't really tell anymore what
was what.
Yeah, what was what. But I mean, it was just cool to be there. Like, I remember grabbing that on VHS when I was a young age, and at this point, I didn't know anything about movies, and my dad told me this is a sequel to Night of the Living Dead. I'm like, oh my God, let's put it in, so, the same thing happened with Day of the Dead. To me, they're new movies, and to my dad, they're out for years already, and he saw them 1,000 times.
It's cool putting somebody onto something that's older that you've seen, you know what I mean? It's like,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always been like that. Even today, I'm still watching movies that I've never seen before, like Tammy and the T-Rex. I just watched that for the first time last week, and I'll tell you what, it's one of my favorites right now.
Really?
It's a B movie, but it's all practical effects, and you gotta love it for what it is, And Paul Walker's in it, Denise Richards is in it. I mean, it's a fun movie. If you haven't checked it out,
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
It just got re-released on Blu-ray, and it's the R-rated gore cut because it was a family-friendly movie, and now it's just like...
That's not the movie that Paul Rudd used to always go and show as a trailer when he was trolling Conan O'Brien. He would put a...
I don't know.
It might not be it then.
Yeah, it might not be that one.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's a giant dinosaur fucking...
Oh, then that's
killing
definitely not that
people,
movie, yeah.
But
yeah, the another quick cool thing with the zombie movies is that that going back, I have like a few different collector's items for that movie like that. But who was the guy that just remade a movie and is like very inspired off? It was just a zombie movie just came out, but I didn't get to see it yet. I forget, but remember we were talking about the B-rated movies on that. That's where I wanted to go. The B-rated movies. One of the ones that were on there was Fido.
Oh, I remember Fido.
With the zombies had the net collars on.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I watched that. I mean, that was probably early Netflix, streaming days, but I haven't. I should rewatch that one.
Yeah,
day.
that's a great zombie movie. So what came first, Hunting for Justice or Backroad?
That's a good question. I mean, we filmed them almost at the same time. We started shooting Backroad in 2016, the summer of 2016, and then Labor Day weekend, I believe, we started shooting Hunting for Justice of that same year. So Hunting for Justice came out before Backroad. We had a screening for it. We got the DVDs made. So I would say Hunting for Justice because that was about 4 or 5 years in the making for Tom. That's Tom's movie. He wrote that. I shot it and cut it. As far as Backroad, I wrote it. Started writing that in 2014. By the time I had a script in 2015, I started doing all the pre-production, getting the actors, the locations, and it still wasn't enough time to get everything because we went into 2017 to do more pickups and shoot the new ending, I guess.
Yeah.
And then again in 2018 to shoot the second new ending. I don't want to spoil it, but
that's what we've seen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. After she gets away.
Yeah.
But
so it's watching it. I when I first seen the trailer, I was like, okay, this is Schuylkill County meets House of a Thousand Corpses meets Wrong Turn in a way.
In a way, yeah.
And then I watched it, and then you said it's Pennsylvania Chainsaw Massacre,
pretty much.
And it does. There's a lot of cool callbacks and kind of hints and nods to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Mm-hmm. There is a definite moment where it's like, man, this is. I don't want to spoil it for anybody. But it's cool, man. It's if you are a casual horror movie goer, this may be a tough one for you.
Yeah.
There are some scenes that they're going to push your envelope to see if you're going to get triggered or not, or if it's going to upset you, or it's going to take you to places. So, but if you've seen movies like House of a Thousand Corpses, where I know like the one scene where he takes a pistol and molest a woman with it.
Yep.
It's going to have not to that extreme. I don't know. But it's in that ballpark. We're in the same region, stuff like that. What was another one that had very like Spit on Your Grave?
Yep.
There was a rape scene in there that may upset you. I mean, this movie's going to touch on some things. It's very bloody. It definitely has gore. It doesn't shy away from that. If you are that type of horror movie person, I think it's going to be great for you. But it's 90%, you said, about 85% shot in Schuylkill County.
Yeah. And the other parts were shot in Tioga County and Mechanicsburg.
Yeah.
Berks County. There was one scene down in Berks County.
Yeah, but it's cool. This movie actually landed you in some news.
Yeah,
got you in the news a little bit.
You could say that. I mean, it could have got me in a lot of trouble too. About $25,000 fine.
Yeah,
kind of trouble. But we were filming a scene. It was off the road, in the middle of nowhere in Raven Run. It took 20 minutes to get to the location, and then all of a sudden, we left. We left a little blood, because it washes out. It's all natural products in the blood. Nothing harmful to the environment. And we left, got the shots done. I was cleaning the truck that we borrowed for the movie, and I get a message from my mom with a news article from Skook News saying,
love Skook News, by the way.
Oh, you gotta love it.
Yeah, they're great.
They're
the best news source in the area to me. I don't do Potts Republican. I don't do that. And they're good. They're good at what they do.
Yeah. They are. And I read the article, and I keep reading it, and I'm so focused because we shot all weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we're tired. We're trying to get everything done. And cleaned up, and I see this article. I'm like, get the hell out of here. Mm-hmm. I call my partner and say, I think there might be a little bit of an issue. I think we're in trouble. And he hangs up on me. He's like, oh, go F yourself. You're just messing with me, because he had a long weekend too. And the next morning, I call the state police, and I'm just asking for information. And I get on the phone with the investigating officer, and he's like telling me all this stuff. He's like, were you up by a stripping pit? Did you have blood? Did you have beer? Did you have cigarettes? And all these other questions. And I'm like, that was us. We're a film production team that we're making our own movie here in Schuylkill County. And to a point, he was relieved, because there's no longer a threat. There's no body in the stripping pit or anything like that. And we kind of had a nice little laugh about it. And he asked me if we had permission, which we did. And pretty much that was the end of the case for him. He was like, all right, well, thanks for letting us know. Just a fair warning, if you do something like this again,
give us a heads up.
Call us. Even if it is 20 minutes in the woods away from society, there's people that roam the woods, on quads, dirt bikes, and all that. So you just have to be careful. And he was really cool about it. I mean, we did waste like $25,000, because that's what they put into the investigation in like 24 hours. So, yeah, that was crazy. You know, that was like the highlight of the movie. And I actually had to call him back and say, listen, there's 2 other spots that have blood, so if you get a call about, a crime scene, that's just us. And I gave them like the specific locations of where.
What a way to get away with murder too. Like, just like, we're making a movie in the woods. If you come across blood, it's not real. Yep. Meanwhile, there's really a dead body. Don't really do that, people.
No, don't do that, because they'll find a way to blame me and get their $25,000 back,
So what is the steps in this movie now? So it's pretty much done. There's still a little more stuff you have to do in some production wise.
We have a little bit of post-production. I mean, we're low budget. We're not Hollywood. Mm-hmm. I mean, I still work a daytime job. This is like my passion, you know? So we don't have access to millions of dollars to fix things that need to be fixed. We have a little bit of an audio problem, some color problems, and besides that, that's about it. Right now, we're pushing for distribution. We may have a distribution deal by the end of the winter, which is in a couple months. So we'll kind of, we don't want to announce it and then it doesn't happen.
Yeah,
and look like a jackass.
Mm-hmm.
Because
you can curse, it's fine.
Yeah.
You said this movie was banned already in Germany. We had 2, actually 3. Was it the T-shirt?
No, it wasn't the T-shirt.
Because I know they're really finicky with those shirts.
No, not with that. You know what? It may be. That never really crossed my mind. I mean, I'll have to talk to Ryan Flannery about that. But for the most part, we sent it off to them, and they said, there's no way we could put this out the way it is. You're going to have to trim it up, mostly the gore scenes. And they gave me 3 specific scenes, which you already said were pretty much the highlights of the movie.
Yeah.
And, I'm not for censorship. I think
you worked on it.
Yeah. The MPA, well, I think it's an MPA now, the movie rating system, they would never give this an R rating. It would have to be NC-17. I mean, I always wanted it to be an X-rated film, as a callback to movies like I Drink Your Blood, even Friday the 13th received an X rating. And that was just something that I wanted to do with Backroad, kind of bring back the X rating. Not because it's porn, but, it's a graphic adult film.
Yeah.
But yeah, fuck censorship. That's what I say.
Yeah, hell yeah. So it's kind of weird that I think one of the reasons that I kind of found out about you as well is obviously Ryan. I know of Ryan. We know each other through mutual friends. Mm-hmm. But when I made the Interviews with Everyday People page, I made it. I said to my people, I said, hey, whoever because we're about to hit 1,000 likes. I said, whoever the 1,000th liked is, I'm gonna do a spotlight of them. Hey, thank you for following and the whole 9. Mm-hmm. She liked the page, and she was an artist from Philly, who is Ryan's girlfriend, Kelly, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So there was a connection there. I was like, oh, well, I guess maybe through him she's seen this or that or whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. So then I started following Kelly and a few of her artist friends in Philly. And I'm like, I love your art style. It's cool. It's kind of like this movie. It pushes some boundaries. There's some art. It's like Mad Magazine in a way, but also it's like they're gonna put some stuff in there that may offend you. But they're not doing it to be like I idolize this, but it's there. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And it's clearly her art on the bag, on the puke bag here, right?
Oh
that's definitely Kelly art right there.
That's him.
She's fantastic. So it's neat that was in there, and then the art is on his shirt.
Yep.
In the movie, that maybe that Germany did not like. There may have been World War II memorabilia on it, we'll just say.
Yeah, maybe. Just a little bit.
But Ryan was fantastic. All the killers were good. I mean, they were definitely they stick in your head after you watch it. You're like, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it was. I'm trying to talk about it, but not really give too much away. The premise is, girl's gonna go out with her girlfriend and a group of friends. Maybe not close friends of friends, but it's more or less her and her. It's
Best
like a
friend.
Yeah, it's like a pure girl and the bad influence girl, and the bad influence girl is going to bring her other bad influence friends, and they're going to go to the cabin and party for 4th of July weekend.
You got it.
On the way there, they're drinking, driving, among other things.
Never do that.
They hit a child. This is all in the trailer.
Yep.
And this spins a series of events of which lead into what's happening on the back road.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Best way I can describe it.
Yeah, that's the best way to describe it. I couldn't have done it better.
It's like I said, it's a fantastic movie. I'm really thankful you brought it over. Let's watch it. It's all in 4K. The colors, the shots. I may have been talking a lot because I was asking questions during the movie.
Yep.
When it releases, maybe we'll do another podcast where we just watch it and do a watch talk. That's like getting popular in podcasts.
Yeah, like a Mystery Theater 3000 or something.
Yeah, or even you do a little behind the scenes talk of each scene as it's going.
Oh yeah. I'll be here all day, man.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to pause the movie. And
100%.
I'll be there going off on a rant.
It's funny because of what kind of inspired that idea just now. I'm a huge Kevin Smith, and I'm also a pro wrestling fan. And Chris Jericho and Kevin Smith did half an episode on their one podcast, and the other half was on the other. So it kind of drove
nice
people, and they watched Pulp Fiction.
Oh boy!
And it was them talking about Pulp Fiction.
That's amazing.
It was awesome. It was so much fun. I did not know that Clerks and Pulp Fiction rode the series together of when they were both released at the same time from Miramax.
Oh, really?
So they were on the circuit of the independent movie scenes, and then 3 movies in, they're like, Pulp Fiction's way too good to be on this series. We're pulling them. And Tarantino's like, no, I'm doing Germany. I'm doing the 3 main ones because I want my films to be seen there because I do like independent movie scenes. So he forced it to stay on. So him and Tarantino kind of really got to know each other on that circuit, which is awesome.
That is awesome. Do you see the new Jay and Silent Bob movie?
I have not yet. No,
man.
I'm literally so busy filming content. Your movie's the first thing I got to see in a long time.
That's good.
I got to finally sit down and watch a movie.
Awesome.
Budget wise, if you don't want to give the number, you don't have to.
The budget of Backroad, it's around $50,000. That's including the equipment that we purchased to make the movie, because we're going back and forth about how we're going to make the movie. I had a camera that was shooting HD at the time, and that camera got me through 5 or 6 6 feature films. God knows how many short films and weddings I shot with that. But it was just time for me to upgrade, because that's my other passion is cinematography.
What I know we talked about off camera, but what camera did you use for this movie?
The Sony FS7.
Okay.
Shoots in 4K, S-Log 3, and it looks beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the main reasons I wanted to go with the FS7, because it's smaller compared to other bigger cameras like the Arri Alexa or the Red camera, but it doesn't cost as much as the Arri. And that's what The Walking Dead shoots on the Arri. The Red camera, almost every freaking movie that comes out in theaters is shot on the Red. It's just the camera it's the it camera right now. The Sony FS7 looked beautiful. It was compact, had a lot of punch, I guess, if you want to call it that. And also, with the camera, you had to upgrade your editing software and your whole computer, and then the lighting.
That's where I'm stuck right now.
Yep.
I got all this new equipment, and it's so hard to edit because this computer's old as shit.
Yep. It's crazy because, half our budget went right to equipment.
Yeah.
The other half went to the special effects and food, just stuff that we needed to get people to come to the set and keep them happy. The food was fantastic. My parents made everything, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and we had vegans because that's a new hip thing to do. So we had the vegan course, someone ate just peppers and onions, that's all they ate, and water, but whatever, enjoy it. I'm a meat eater, I love a good steak, but pretty much that, I would say about 50 grand. Now that we have the initial cost, spent, in the equipment and all that, I think we'll be able to keep those budgets well below 25.
Because you have the equipment now.
Yeah.
And the reason I brought that up, it's not the flex, I spent this money. I tell people too all the time, and Heidi's like, can you stop telling people what you spent on? I'm like, it's important for people to kind of know that, because this is not like a bullshit thing. We're not out here to just dick around. It costs money to make your thing look as good. And then obviously, we had to critique, but I don't want you to think that I was critiquing it in a bad way.
Oh no!
But the same thing that people do to me all the time, hey, if you did this, I'm like, I understand. I got to get to the money to get that. You know what I mean? And a lot of times you do an episode, I do an episode, and you really only have one shot at it. And if it messed up there, and that person, you can't call the person back to refilm it, because that's not easy to do.
No.
And you're like, well, I got to work with what I got. You know what I mean? So I definitely wanted people to understand that this is not just you went out and bought a $25 camera, or you shot this on your phone, or
and it's amazing what technology these days can do, because you could literally make a
there has been movies done with iPhones,
and they went off to the Oscars too, on an iPhone. I mean, that blows my mind. So the technology is there.
Could you imagine transferring every file from your phone to your computer? Then
I mean,
I would kill myself.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but there were a couple times I had my own personal mental breakdown making Backroad, because I mean, things just happen. A cop's uniform disappears. What do you do about that? And it was from a costume place, and we had no idea where it went. No idea. And that was the one time I broke down during production, because we were shooting a huge scene the following weekend. It was at the cabin, and we had 10 actors all in the same scene. Just a crazy amount of work, because you're controlling 10 people. I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're pretty much the only one doing stuff, we only had a crew of 4, maybe 5 people on a good day. For the most part, it was me and my buddy Tom doing everything. So, I mean, it gets frustrating. And
I'll tell you one thing that I did. It's one of those weird things, because like I said, my friend Nikolai, who helped me start Interviews with Everyday People, and really inspired me and helped me and taught me a lot when it comes to cameras and stuff like that. I'm still not great. I'm getting by without him, but man, I miss him sometimes. But he kind of ruined movies in a way for me, because we'll watch something and he'll be like, did you notice this? Even stuff he'll shoot, he'll be like, can you watch this? And he'll show me, he goes, did you notice anything? And I was like, no. And then he'll break down what everything in his mind that he hated about it, and I'm like, well, thanks, now I notice everything now. So one of the biggest things he worked with, he's ingrained in my brain, is making sure, if I shoot a scene with you and you take your shirt off and then you shoot the next scene, it could be easily forgot, especially if you're doing a scene with 10 people, where the way a dirt smudges on a face, or something is on someone's face, and then the next scene the blood's not there anymore, that kind of stuff. So you're saying you're doing a film with a scene with 10 people. You have to make sure all 10 people, if they leave the set that day, or if they go do something, they don't wash their hands, they don't the small things that can easily be picked up. I didn't really notice that much in your movie.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Good.
Which is good. Yeah,
that's good.
And that's the small things that can make or break a scene.
Yep, we definitely had our fair share of bad continuity with.
There's one scene I noticed, the one continuity, and listening back, and I listened to a podcast called Office Girls, and they said the worst scenes to do is when food's involved.
Yep.
I don't want to say what scene it is, but there was a scene where someone's eating. And when you do a scene, if you have to reshoot, you need to have the food eaten in the exact same way it was when it like, and you're doing camera changes and cuts.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's not easy to like. They said in the scene in the office that they cannot, like, the two girls can no longer eat mint chocolate chip ice cream cake because they had to eat so many pieces of it.
Yep.
So when you're on scene eating, the trick is don't eat it all. Just hold it, because if you take a bite and they cut, you have to make sure you have to eat to that point again.
Yep. You know, we ran in. You know, we tried our best with that scene that you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know, we'll just call it the donut scene.
The donut scene, yeah.
And I feel bad for Jason Paul, who played that role, because he ate about a dozen donuts. And you know, we went over to Boyer's here in Frackville and got these orange creamsicle donuts, and they look so good, but they only had 6. So I'm like, all right, well, my favorite donut is a powder donut, you know, keeping it simple, so I'll get 6 of those. We filmed about 3 or 4 takes with the powder donuts, and then they were running low, so we're like, what do we do now? Well, we gotta reset and shoot everything with these orange creamsicle donuts. So after eating these powdered donuts, now he's eating these heavy cream-filled donuts. He threw up. He threw up from eating way too many donuts. And yeah, exactly. I mean, there's some, if you pay attention to that scene, you know, you see the donut kind of disappearing and then reappearing.
Or like dribbles on the face.
Yeah, the dribbles on the face a little bit. And you know, it's hard, but it's a funny scene. So,
yeah, 100%.
You know.
Yeah, you had to keep it. But that's like the small things that Nikolai has ruined for me in movies now. Like I watch and I'm just like, I don't want to be noticing this.
You know, on normal movies, you'll have like a script supervisor, you know, making sure.
He said that one of the things too, with the movies, is like every time you leave set, they take a picture of you.
Yep.
And then when you come back, they look at that picture and they're like, okay, we need to recreate this picture again to get you back on set.
That was Tom's job.
Yeah.
Tom Smith, my partner. I mean, he took pictures of everybody because, I mean, most of the movie, at least the last 45 minutes, everyone's covered in blood. You know, there's blood everywhere. So you have to, you know, shooting just weekends, we didn't, you know, have a specific time frame, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month to shoot this. This was every weekend for all of summer 2016, almost every weekend of 2017, and then 2 weekends in 2018. So, like, you know, 2 years after shooting the movie, it's hard to go back and pick up right where you left off.
Yeah.
And I mean,
you got to rely on actors for almost 3 years to not change their hair,
to
not get tattoos, to not get piercings,
not get fat,
to not get fat, not get too skinny.
There's
a lot that go like that. So when people watch a movie, they don't realize how much. Now, obviously, like Hollywood, they can bang out a 2.5 hour movie in a month, you know, or not even. They can shoot it in weeks.
Yeah,
you guys are just you're learning. You know what I mean? And for being someone who's just made your now first full thing like movie, I thought you did a fantastic job.
Well, thank you.
Because all that stuff comes into factor, especially when like kind of being behind the curtain. I call it I'm a wrestling fan, so I was like kayfabe. So like when you kind of step behind the curtain and then you watch a wrestling match, you notice things that maybe someone else don't, and it makes you appreciate it more. So yeah, man, it was absolutely fantastic. What are some future plans that you have when it comes to filming? Or are we getting a Backroad Part 2, or are you looking at a completely different idea of a movie?
It's funny, like right now, as we speak, not right this second, but I am about halfway through Backroad 2.
Okay.
The writing process. It picks up right in the moment Backroad 1 ends, which you already know the ending, so you could kind of have an idea of where it's going to go. But my plan is to make it bigger, badder, and better than the first one. You know, just like any sequel should be. There's a little bit of a plot hole in Backroad 1 that is kind of
adjust.
Yeah, it's going to lead us right into Backroad 2 with this little plot hole that everyone just kind of seems to, you know, not even take notice to it, you know, because it's so small. And, you know, once you see Backroad 2, gonna understand, where I was kind of going with that. There's a few other projects that we're doing. My buddy Tom Smith is writing a fan film, I guess. I don't even think I'm allowed to talk about it yet because it's still not official. So he's in the process of writing that. Along with Backroad 2, I'm also writing another feature called Neck, which, might be inspired by this t-shirt. And that's about it. Just keeping the dream alive.
Do you ever see those Crypt TV ones? Well,
I did.
They're like 3-minute long.
I actually I filmed a project for Crypt TV. It was called The Legend of Agatha Rose. Maybe or no, it was Creep
TV.
It was Crypt TV, but when I filmed it, it was Legend of Agatha Rose. I think the new title was like Creek or Creep, something like that. It's fun.
What was the they're like very heavy on monsters, like a monster look.
Yeah, this one was a little bit of a monster. I'll have to dig it up. A friend of mine, JP Hoffman, did it. It got like 2.5 million views.
Dude, they're so good. Like in literally 3 minutes, that writer has to make a movie in 3 minutes. So you have to make them feel secure. But you're looking at it as a person. You're like, you have 3 minutes to get this person's attention. And some of those 3-minute clips have become bigger projects, like the Looksee. Like, like that, or the one where the girl is in her bed and she's flipping on and off the light, and something keeps getting closer and closer, and then the demon looking girl is next to her. There's so many of them that are getting so much steam from because if you can make someone jump or scare, or like, I want more of this after 3 minutes, you nailed it.
Yep.
I know for me, I used to love like my generation, and you're not too far behind me, but like, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Goosebumps.
I love it.
You know what I mean? Like
those.
They were awesome little introductions to horror movies growing up. You know, they were our versions of scary stuff.
It's funny because when I was younger, I would watch horror movies. I was allowed to watch horror movies.
Yeah, I wasn't really restricted either.
And to me, when I was a kid, Goosebumps, that's for kids. I want to watch something else. Or Are You Afraid of the Dark? I'd rather watch Tales from the Crypt. Now I love it all.
I love Tales of the Crypt too.
I mean, Tales from the Crypt will always be right here in my heart.
Were you a Twilight Zone fan?
I love Twilight Zone, but I'm a late bloomer to Twilight Zone. I started watching it in 2015 maybe, and I was like, dude, this is amazing. Like, I can't believe I've never watched a show. I've seen little bits and pieces here and there, and I saw the Twilight Zone movie way before I even started watching the show. Even the 2002 reboot with Forrest Whitaker as the the narrator, I guess.
Did you see any of the new ones yet?
I'm not a big fan.
I haven't seen them yet, only because they're pay locked behind the CBS app.
Yeah,
and I'm not paying for it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pay for it.
I'll wait till they're done and it comes out on DVD, and then I'll buy the DVD of it just because I'm a Twilight Zone fan. But I'm not. I already have too many subscriptions. Like, F you. What else do I want from you, CBS? Besides
Twilight Zone. I mean, I don't know why it's not on TV, but I could kind of see why it isn't on TV.
It's a little more risque.
Not risky. I mean, the Twilight Zone, they're like 25-minute episodes. This is going off to like 45-minute episodes.
Okay.
And like, I watched the first one on YouTube. It was posted for free, called The Comedian. And it's the furthest thing away from the Twilight Zone, in my opinion.
It's not so psychological. Like, the other Twilight Zones were super psychological.
They are. I mean, I can't judge it from just one show. I don't care for Jordan Peele as this narrator. I think he's doing a god-awful impression of Rod Serling.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't replace him. You can't replace Rod at all. And really, the Twilight Zone died with him, I feel. Other people might disagree, but I'm not feeling this whole
I think
reboot.
if he would have made it but not called Twilight Zone, I think it would do a little better. For example, Black Mirror.
I haven't watched that.
Black Mirror is the modern day Twilight Zone.
Really?
It's so good.
I'm gonna have to give
the first episode is the furthest thing from Twilight Zone. But once you get past that one, it's it's Twilight Zone, but with modern day technology. So it's using technology that can possibly be our technology within months or years. But you're like, oh, that's so far fetched. But you're like, is it really? Like the one episode, this guy, everyone has these contacts that they're given at birth, and these contacts literally film your whole life.
Oh god.
And then like people can go back and rewatch your contacts. Like you go through TSA, you literally put your eyes on these things, and it'll like rewind 3 days, and they do like a quick snippet to see if you've planned anything. Like these weird invasion of privacy, but kind of good but bad features. Like all these different, like there's a VR episode that just really fucks with your head.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
and that's on Netflix, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna have to give that a watch.
Yeah, it starts off very heavily British style show, and then like the newer episodes, they turn them into like mini movies.
Oh, nice.
And then they get like big name actors now to play in them, and they're fantastic.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they're really, really good. Yeah. Has there been any horror movies of lately that you've watched that you're like, man, this has been fantastic?
New ones. Oh boy. I liked Ready or Not. That was a fun one. You know, a little different kind of horror comedy. Anything new? Oh man. I mean, I've been revisiting older movies because I'm tired of the mainstream horror movies. Blumhouse, anything made by Blumhouse, I'm not for. Including the Halloween reboot.
You didn't like it?
I mean, it grew on me the more I watched it. I mean,
we are getting another one.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of the only reason I kept rewatching it, because I want to understand, like, there's going to be another one, then another one after that. So it's its own little trilogy. But
the only thing that obsessed me is so many horror fans are like, who's your favorite horror? Like, so growing up for me, I always said Michael Myers. Loved Michael Myers. He was my favorite. You couldn't convince me otherwise.
I always said Jason.
My least favorite was Jason.
Wow.
Right? So I get older, and I go back and I go, I always liked Freddy too. Like Freddy, it was always like, who's your favorite piece without saying Freddy? Because Freddy was my top. And then I go back and I rewatch the Freddy movies, and I'm like, as a horror movie, these aren't horror. These are comedy.
Yeah.
You're rooting for him to kill people.
You really are.
Yeah. So then when they remade Freddy and everyone's like, I hated it, I like the remake because they made Freddy scary again.
Oh, wow.
I thought, like, to me, I was like, this is exactly what it needed to be. Like, they never dove into they always called him a child killer. And then the whole time they're playing on your emotions is, did he kill these kids? Did he molest these kids? Is he innocent? Is he not innocent? Am I rooting for this Freddy again because I rooted for the old one? And then by the end you're like, no, this dude was a piece of shit.
Yep.
And I liked how they did that.
Okay. I could respect that. I mean, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street reboot, same story with the Halloween reboot.
Yeah.
And I watched it in theaters. I hated it. I still own it. You know, I own both of them. But
I like the way his face looked. He looked more like a burn victim.
I thought it was too CGI.
Really?
You know, too much CGI for me. I mean,
the actor who played him I was a fan of. He's just a creepy looking dude in general.
He is a creepy looking dude. I just, you know, no one beats Robert Englund.
Oh, Robert Englund is amazing.
Yeah, he's an amazing actor. Shitty in person. I mean,
really?
Maybe that was
just a bad experience.
My first bad experience meeting him, but waiting 6 hours for him to, you know, sign my autograph and get out of here.
I had the same experience, except I didn't pay for it. I snuck with somebody in line just I'm a huge Batman fan.
Okay.
Adam West was not good.
Really?
Nope. He wouldn't even look you in the eye. He didn't acknowledge your presence.
Wow.
He would literally his handler would say, "What's your name?" "Oh, it's Tony." And Adam West would just go and hand it to the handler, and the handler would hand it to you.
Wow.
He wouldn't even look up, not shake your hand, not thank you, nothing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you're paying, you're literally making
It's $100 autograph.
Yeah, $100. That's how much Robert Englund was, and 6 hours of waiting in line while everyone pays $100. You're making a fucking fortune. You know, give me 10 seconds of your day.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, I was with my girlfriend, and you know, both of us got like snubbed. You know, just look down, sign, here you go, have a good day. I mean, that was at Monster Mania, which I'm not a big fan of Monster Mania anyway.
Yeah.
You know, there's definitely way better conventions to go to.
Heidi went to one a couple months ago. It's the one where the entire cast of the Craft all got together again.
Oh, okay.
She was at that one.
That was Monster Mania.
Yeah, she says Nev Campbell was a sweetheart.
Really?
She left there a huge Danielle Harris fan. She said
damn.
Danielle Harris was fantastic. She like was super personable. She'd stand there and talk with you.
Yep.
Yeah, she got a picture of her and Danielle Harris together, and they're like smashing boobs together. Like that's how tight Danielle Harris pulled her
wow.
in. Like she's like, I was tit to tit with Danielle Harris.
I love Danielle Harris.
Yeah.
You know, that was my 10-year-old crush. You know,
Yep.
Watching Halloween 4 and 5, I was like, "You're the same age as me. Let's get together or something like that." You know, but you know, I grew up watching her. Even her comedy roles. Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter is Dead.
Oh yeah,
loved her in that. I got to meet her at Horror Hound. Lost a picture though. My phone died the day I got back from Horror Hound, and I didn't get to post it anywhere. So that picture is long gone. With all the pictures from Horror Hound that weekend. But whatever, it happens.
I've only ever been to one con. For how much I'm into that culture, the cons, like, I'm not a huge stand in line, meet a celebrity person. That's why I don't go to horror manias. I like going to cons more or less to see like stuff like this, like underground movie or someone's artwork. I love people's artwork at cons. Like I go to those booths more than I go to anyone else. Yeah, I'm into that.
Honestly, Robert Englund killed it for me. You know,
Adam West killed it for me.
Yeah, waiting in line, I was like, you know what?
And I didn't even pay for it.
That's even better because you didn't have to. You know,
there was two people that killed it for me. One was a person, and the other one was the person's handler. So when we went to, it was Steel City Con. So once again, I was in Monroeville and didn't even attempt to go. I should have went because we were there. So everyone's like, oh, you want to go with me? My friend who I was working with at the time, she was into cosplay, and she went as a Morton Joe from Mad Max.
Oh, nice.
She ended up winning the whole thing. She
awesome.
won the costume contest. It was fucking fantastic. She killed it. And she went up against the Babadook, and this guy had literally a 7-foot, 8-foot tall Babadook.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was her. And she ended up winning. She was fantastic. But we went. So we're standing there, and all the people there. I'm like, oh my god, there's Adam West, Burt Ward, Julie Newmar. Burt Ward, Julie Newmar. I wasn't paying for them. What's her name? Who played in Chasing Amy? Who played Amy? She was there. Her line was outrageous. I was like, I'm not doing that. And then China, the wrestler, it was literally weeks before she passed away. She was there. No one at her line. Like, I literally was like, I ended up bumping in her table trying to get around another line. And I looked down and I was like, oh shit, China. Like, and I just went, yo, thank you for being a part of my childhood. I'm a huge wrestling fan, like DX. You were awesome you are the trendsetter for female wrestling. Yep. And before she even had a chance to answer, you can definitely tell she was not in the greatest mind state. She looked super sad. I don't know, like she died from, I guess, overdose, but she was supposed to be clean, so there was like weird speculation.
Yeah.
And her handler was like, excuse me, if you're not paying money, please move along.
Oh boy.
And I was like, you have nobody in your line. I was like, she sucks. Thank you for your career. And I walked away. Because to me, I will stand in a line for 15, 20 minutes, not pay you for an autograph or a picture, but just at least thank you for your work. Yeah. That's my thing. If I can just get like a handshake or a fist bump, I'm cool with that and I'll walk away. So then we were walking there, and my wife was like, oh, I want to get like an autograph, or I want to get this signed. She has all these horror movie posters she has that she wants to get signed and framed and hung up because she's into it. So I was like, she goes, well, who would you want to meet here? I was like, all right. Well, I looked over, I'm like, dude, no one's at Ralph Macchio's table. Oh, nice. Like, he's standing there playing on his phone. I was like, it's the Karate Kid. Let's go. And we went over. The nicest guy ever. Oh, yeah. Super nice. And he's like, big Karate Kid fan. So like, no, I'm Beer League. He goes, you're a fucking Howard Stern fan. And I was like, yeah, that's true. And then we met Tom Savini.
Oh, yeah.
No one at his table.
Yep.
in Monroeville.
Was he a dick?
He was super sweet.
Really?
Yeah, he was awesome. He had the cock gun there. And I'm looking through. He had all of his posters. So we had Friday the 13th, which I was like, do I get him to sign a Friday the 13th poster? And I held on to it, and I'm going through, and it was like Dawn of the not Dawn of the Dead, Desperado.
From Dusk Till Dawn?
Dusk Till Dawn, yep. And I'm going through, and it was like 100 of those, 100 of those, 100 of those, and then there's like 3 left, and it was the Dawn of the Dead poster. I pulled it out, I'm like, that, you're signing that. You know what I mean? And he's like, awesome, thank you. And he signed it, and we talked about it, and he was super cool.
Yeah, he's a great special effects guy. That's actually my partner went to a school out in Pittsburgh.
He's still doing so much.
Yeah.
Like in wrestling right now, Bray Wyatt.
Oh, yeah.
He did Bray Wyatt's new mask.
Yep, I saw that.
Yeah, Slipknot's new mask.
Yep, I was just
band.
about to say Slipknot.
Yeah.
He's
fantastic.
Yeah, he's great. You know, some of the stuff he does, I mean, it's iconic. You know, I think my favorite would have to be definitely Creepshow. You know, that's... You know, Fluffy, that's my thing.
I am listening. I can hear you. Just keep going. I just want to double check our camera.
No problem.
You're leaning back on me. All right, good.
Okay.
I just want to make sure we lose you.
Yeah.
I just did an episode where we did hot sauce, and the guy leaned back, and I literally got his nose the entire shot.
Yeah, just lean back all the way back.
Yeah, but you're good where you are.
Okay, good.
But yeah, Creepshow.
I love Creepshow. I mean, growing up with that, you know, I knew that movie before I knew George A. Romero's name. So, like, when I found out that was the King of the Zombies making a horror movie anthology.
And worked with Stephen King a little bit.
Oh, I mean, those two are like meatball and spaghetti. You know, you just can't go wrong. I mean, God rest Romero's soul. I mean, I remember when he died, I was like, dude...
Please come back as a zombie.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for. Yeah, I went home and watched the Night of the Living Dead on Blu-ray, and I was like... almost in tears watching because like we're not gonna get another movie like this. And I mean his zombie movies kind of fell off near the end, but I still like them. You know, they're not great, but they're fun.
And then the remakes.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't like running zombies.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
I don't like when they run.
I like the Dawn of the Dead remake because I'm a big Zack Snyder fan.
Yeah.
But it's not gonna beat the first one. You know, it's the original Dawn of the Dead. So,
all right. I just feel like it wasn't picking you up fully.
Oh,
well, I think we're good. We're still picking you up, but I feel like it wasn't as loud as it could be.
Maybe I leaned back.
No, I don't know. I mean, it's picking you up, but it's just not where I want it to be. I'm like super particular. I'm weird. All right. Anyway,
no problem.
Yeah. I like how, like, in the original Dawn of the Dead, they're, like, purple. Like, they would just paint them purple for a couple scenes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, when they're in the house with mostly African-American people.
What was that for? That was to, they were trying to do something with the color, like the color of the film stock, and they had to adjust the makeup for the film stock, but something
I just thought they didn't know how to make black people look like they were zombies, so they just painted them purple.
Oh, God. I hope not. That's definitely a question for Tom Servini, or even my partner, Tom Smith. He might know more about that, but I know it was something to do with the camera, and then when they developed the film, everyone turned out bluish, and it was like, what the hell are we going to do with blue zombies, you know? But, I mean, it makes sense. It does make sense in a way.
Speaking of rest in peace, the Frackville movie theater. Oh, remember when they used to do the, like, Dusk Till Dawn movies?
Yep,
so
I do.
I went the very last time they did it, and they had Night of the Living Dead playing in that night.
Oh, God.
And there's a scene that I never noticed until I seen it on a big screen with movie theater speakers and the whole nine. When they're in the living room and they're boarding everything up and they're having that serious scene of dialogue, there's a cricket on camera, like in the room, and the hard mic is picking it up tremendously. So the entire scene in movie theater speakers, you just hear this giant cricket.
Oh, wow.
And it ruined like the whole scene for me. Like if you watch it on DVD or Blu-ray and stuff and you watch on normal speakers, it doesn't pick up as much. But I guess being like the surround sound, that one section it's just like chirp, chirp, chirp.
Oh, God.
It was like I was sitting there, I'm like, what is happening right now? Like, it was so loud.
Someone's bringing in crickets.
It literally sounded like a 9-foot giant chicken cricket was in the theater with us. It was like, oh my God, can this scene be over?
That's mind blowing.
Yeah.
That sucks about the Pearl Theater too, because
I loved it.
I loved going up there. Now I have to go up to Music all the way up.
Bloomsburg is not bad.
Bloomsburg?
Very good prices. Theater's very clean. Won't go to Hazleton.
No, I went to see Don't Breathe there, and I'll never go back. You know, it's not my cup of tea.
Here's the thing. I just feel like the people in Hazleton don't respect their own theater, so they trash it, and then they don't respect other moviegoers' theaters experience, and they just talk and they just don't care. Like, but you go to like Music, and everyone's there like, okay, I'm paying extra money for a seat. Like, you pay for you reserve a seat. Like, I think there's like people like, I don't like that experience. Like, or if I'm getting a ticket and I want a certain seat in a certain row, I can pre-order that seat and you can't get it. Yeah. And I think more people are into that adapt, like where it's not that one asshole who walks in 15 minutes before the movie starts and he fucking rustling around in the movie start and he's still settling. And I think, listen, make the movies more expensive because it keeps people like that away, and I can enjoy them. Like, that's why the 21 and older theater was beautiful for me.
Oh, I love that.
Everyone respected the theater. Everyone respected each other. It was like a good movie-going experience.
I still have the 2 chairs I bought from
I have
there.
One sitting.
Do you?
I have a 21 and older theater seat. I didn't get the red seats.
Yeah, I got the 21 and older seats.
Yep.
I mean, I think it was like $30. It was right... It was.
Can you remember what seat you actually got and what row and everything? I got one seat that was by itself. I never physically sat in it.
I don't think so. I don't think they're. I'll have to look on the bottom of it. I don't. Were they on the bottom?
I don't remember that. Yeah. But my seat was the one seat. So when you were in like the first theater, so when you come in through the bar and it was first theater on the left there. When you came in and the theater opened up, I had the first handicap seat.
Oh, wow.
So it was the only seat by itself, and it was sitting next to if somebody was in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
So I figured no one really sat there that much, and if they did, if you were sitting there by yourself, you probably weren't a dirtball. You know what I mean? You weren't going to destroy it, and that's the seat I have. I have
awesome.
the one single seat that was sat next to the...
That's terrific, because... I mean, they were tearing down the mall. The theater was closed already.
I bawled. I cried.
Yeah.
The day it closed, I was upset.
And I saw a post on Facebook about the chairs being like $30. I'm like, dude, I have to get up there and get them, you know? And they had 7 at the time, and, money was kind of short, so, I only bought the 2. And I always wish I could have bought, more to have a whole, like, movie theater in my house, but,
I have to figure out how to bracket it together. It's still like it comes apart on me. So
does it?
Yeah, I have to bracket it.
We actually built like a whole platform and like bolted it to the platform. It's all made out of wood. We put a carpet on it. My one buddy helped me do it, and they look awesome. I'll have to send you a picture. Of mine.
I'm just not handy or buildy or fixy or any, like if you need something free off the internet, I got you.
Yeah.
You need advice on video games or video game systems, I'm your dude, but like can you fix my sink? Bro, you're on your own. I can't do any of that. Like fix a car. I am the least manly man. I'm a complete nerd.
Yeah, I mean sometimes I'm that way too, man. There's like cars. I have no idea.
Yeah,
I know how to drive them. But
when my car is starting to break and it makes bad noises, you know how I fix it? I turn the radio up louder.
I was about to say turn up the radio. I need new brakes, and like every time I fucking hit the brake, it would just be grinding. I'm like, okay, let's turn this up.
I guess my car's going in the shop today or Monday. I don't have like 2 of my brakes are no longer there.
Oh my God.
And I didn't even know.
Jesus.
The guy's like, are you fucking crazy? He's like, your one brake is working triple time. It still stops your car, no problem, but you are literally riding with the one brake that's not there.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, wow. I should definitely not do that.
Yeah.
Thank God we didn't get bad weather.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So going into Back Road, how did we take that's the Interviewed Everyday People moniker. We take like these side tangents all the time.
I love it.
It builds like we're a natural conversation here.
Yeah.
How did you find some of the actors in this movie? What was the call to action here?
I put out a casting call.
Facebook or?
Yeah, it was all on Facebook, and then I guess these agencies, actor agencies, saw this post and reposted it on their website. So I had emails from all over the place, even Europe. And I was like, there's no way I could bring you over here from Europe. I can't even bring you from California. And
if you fly yourself, I have a bedroom you could sleep in.
Yeah, a bedroom, a couch.
Yeah.
That's about, we had actors sleeping on floors, not mandatory. The one actress just liked sleeping on the floor. I was like, we have other
Which
places.
one was that?
The main girl.
Oh, yeah? She seemed
Rachel.
cool as hell.
Yeah, she was pretty cool, and she slept on the floor like a dog,
Like a dog.
That was by her choice. And
Where was she from?
Philly.
Philly.
Yeah, almost all the actors are from Philly and New York.
I say 3 of them were clearly New York.
Yeah. Which ones do you think?
Fox.
Nope.
No.
Yeah, he's a Skook boy too.
Really?
Yeah, he's actually from Schuylkill County down in Orgsburg.
Oh, he had a heavy New York thing going on, like a Jersey, New York type thing. The other girl, the one I kept saying like Harley Quinn.
Yep.
And then the main bad guy had like a New York thing going on.
He's from Philly too.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe it's that.
Maybe it's Jersey.
Yeah, that Jersey. What was it? The Dalton
Jersey.
County type thing that they have the.
Oh,
Yeah, in the yard. Like they had that weird dialect, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, but he's based in Philly right now. I know he lived in New Jersey. So, I mean, that's close enough.
Mm-hmm.
New York and New Jersey, they're both in their own little world over there.
Yeah, they should be their own. Philly should be its own state. Just get rid of
It really should be.
just get rid of Philly.
I mean, I love Philly, that scumbag town, but
I have a lot of Philly friends I always make fun of. Like, your town is a dump. I hate it. Well, not a dump, but it's mostly because I don't like your sports teams.
Oh, you're not an Eagles fan?
I'm not. I don't like any of the sports teams.
Oh, boy.
If Derrick Rose goes to the 76ers, I may be a 76ers fan for the time he's there because I do love Derrick Rose.
Yeah.
But all my teams are from the Virginia, D.C. area. I'm a Redskins fan, the Capitals, Nationals.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. We're turning around. We're turning around. We got new coaches.
Yeah, trying to.
So who all was Schuylkill County in this movie?
Eric Searle, he's from Orgsburg.
And that was Fox?
Yeah, Fox. Ryan Flannery, he played one of the psychopathic
Perfect role for him.
killers. He's perfect. He's such a down-to-earth guy and a marine biologist. And then Kai Morgan, he played...
The gas station attendant?
Yeah, gas station attendant. Very minor role. But...
He's a comedian in the area, right?
Yeah.
He does like little videos and stuff.
Videos with a funny voice, like a Dutch accent.
Mm-hmm.
Really cool guy, down to earth. He's an EMT. And then the rest were from New York, Philly area. I think that's about it.
When it comes to, maybe this is the wrong question to ask. When it comes to Back Road 2, who could we see return?
Oh boy!
As I was asking, I was like, "Man, this can give stuff away." But
definitely, the family, the Ray family, and there's going to be a whole new cast. It's going to be a whole new movie that
you should do what what's his name did and do like Evil Dead 2. And it's the exact same movie, but with a better budget and better special effects, and but still name it Part 2.
That's what I was thinking about. I was like, how do we remake the whole movie but do it right this time? And
I love how they always did that. Sam Raimi just let's name it Part 2.
Yeah,
but it's the same movie.
We'll try. We'll try to do that, but
that'd be hilarious.
So far, it's close. It's a Backroad movie, but because I feel like Backroad kind of created this little world. And like every character is kind of not iconic, but sticks out from the normal bunch.
100%. You're definitely going to watch it and you're going to be like, oh, the Ray family. Oh, the two girls. Like, you're going to call, like, I don't want to call them the slutty girls, but they were the slutty girls. Then every member of the Ray family kind of definitely has their own spot.
Just has their own unique personality.
Yeah, like you can literally probably make a side movie on just the one character with the dip in his mouth. Like he
we talked about that so many times.
Yeah, he could be his own movie. Like Flannery can have his own movie just where he's a killer. Yeah, there's so many, like they all can stand out on their own.
And it's cool because both of them are down for a little side project like that. And I just haven't gotten around to writing anything because it's
the two girls can if you're a fan of House of a Thousand Corpses and you like Baby and you like how this girl uses her sexuality to like do her thing, they're two versions of Baby right there. Like the Baby sisters, like, you know what I mean?
Exactly. And they're the youngest. Well, not the youngest. The youngest is now dead, but they were like right up from him. Like they're his older sisters, but not as old as
and you can do even like a whole movie where you talk about the family history, like, you know what I mean, like like that whole thing, like, or even like another cool idea, because you have a really, really talented artist, you could do a comic book like of the history of the Ray family.
That's so funny. We were talking about doing a comic book about Backroad too, just because we know Kelly and she is willing to do it, or
like a graphic novel. Like, just the Ray family, just how this whole family came together.
That would be amazing.
That'd be fucking, I'd buy it.
It would be expensive to do that, though.
Yeah.
That's one thing we don't have on our side. We don't have millions of dollars to,
Do you guys have a GoFundMe or a Patreon up for this?
No.
You should definitely, especially after this interview, you should definitely create one, and maybe even create buzz like, hey, if you're a Patreon thing and you donate this much, we'll let you like maybe see the movie now of what it's at or something along those lines. Or that would be really cool, because I mean my plan is to do one for Backroad too. Once we get DVDs, all some kind of distribution deal where we could sell DVDs and Blu-rays, and that would be like the number one perk. $20, $30, you get a free copy of the movie and a screenplay or something like that. Are these? I thought at first they were popcorn bags, but as they are puke bags.
Yep, we used them for popcorn bags at our last screening down in Hamburg. They were filling them up with popcorn, and they came free with the movie. A ticket purchase. But
I do know a lot of people who really, really want to see this, like local people. So you definitely have a buzz in the area, and I hope this kind of drives more people towards you.
Yeah, we're hoping to do a couple more screenings. I mean, the movie premiered already, but it's doing it on the indie level. It's a completely different task. Trying to find the movie theaters that will screen it, and finding the movie theaters that will screen it and split profits with us.
Yeah.
Because most movie theaters, they just want to make the quick money and, go ahead, get out of here.
Yeah.
But,
who did your art?
That guy was Joel Robertson. He works for Scream Factory. He just did, his latest work is the My Bloody Valentine re-release that Scream Factory is doing. He did the poster art for that, and he's fantastic. I met him at a convention last year. I think it was last year, and we got to talking, and I asked him about doing indie work, and he's like, yeah. And he was actually really, really cheap compared to what other people were trying to charge me.
Did you ever hear Charles Moran from Pottsville? He does a lot of cool. He's like super into horror movies, and he does a lot of like recreations of movie posters and stuff.
Oh, no way!
He's fantastic. He has his own little website where he does it. He just did one of The Exorcist.
Oh, nice!
But he did an upside down cross. But inside the upside down cross was when the cardinal's coming to the house, so he took the art of the cardinal with the light, but then he also drew like when Reagan senses he's there and she's doing that like that stoic pose like thing, and he kind of like drew it all together hand drawn.
Oh wow,
it's fantastic. He'd be a cool person to hit up too.
There's a lot of people that you're mentioning.
He's from the area too, Pottsville, and he's like he loves horror. He's a huge horror movie guy.
Oh, that would be
the
awesome.
Drive-in. The drive-in that does all the cool horror movie nights and stuff.
Mahoning Valley.
Yeah, yep. He works with them a lot, and he'll do a lot of the art for those nights.
Okay, yeah. I think maybe I didn't meet him, but I think
of him.
Yeah, I ran into him once or
long
twice.
Hair.
I think so.
Yep.
Glasses? Or
yep.
No? Okay.
Yeah.
He's probably always there because I'm always at Mahoning Valley.
Definitely hit him up. Let him know that you heard of me through here. He's actually going to be on the podcast next month.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's super cool, man. His art is fantastic. He actually did the whole thing. I want to buy it so bad. I just got to get the money and stop. Like, all my money goes into equipment.
Yep.
But he did an art of, it looks like the old school fight scene. There's an old school Batman where he's fighting all the villains in like this room and they're coming through all the windows. He awesome. Kind of did that, but that's what it reminded me of. He didn't use that as style, but it's the Warriors, all the people from the movie The Warriors, and they're all fighting in a room, and it's all pointillism. Wow. And he did this whole poster, and then he colorized it, and now Patton Oswalt is using it for his comedy tour.
No way.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he said such, and like there's so much, like that's the whole purpose of this whole podcast, is finding these gems in our area, you know what I mean? Like,
and there's a lot of gems, you know.
So
lot
many
of people trying to, you know, just make it.
Yeah.
Know, make
and there's
something
if we can just get more local support to these people, it'd be cool.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
You know, because there are a couple people I contacted from the area, and there's nothing they could do, like some of the art centers and stuff. I don't want to name drop, you know, just in case, you know, they're listening and they're like, oh, you're a jackass or something. But you know, there were people, I called one place and I was like, is there anything you can do to help me out, you know, for, you know, not money, but, you know, just you know, locations, even some kind of sponsorship, even you know, free food. And they're like, oh yeah, we'll get back to you. And months go by, the shoot ends, and I don't hear anything from them. You know?
It sucks too, because a lot of it's weird, because we do live in a time where people are like, they don't want to take responsibility, they don't want to put the work in, and they don't want to be responsible. And it becomes down because we live in a society now where people are just quick to sue other people. And it's shitty. Like,
it is
like, hey man, this would be a great place to do a shoot, and then people are like, well, what do you want to do? Oh, I want to do a scene, the guy's gonna get shot in the head and there's gonna be some blood, but we'll clean it up. No, you're not doing it. Like, immediately, no, not even like, well, let's work with each other, let's talk about it. Like, no, you're not shooting a movie here. You know what I mean? Like, and that happens to photographers a lot too. Where photographers are like, hey, I want to come in and do a shoot, like, this room would be amazing, and the girl's going to be like in lingerie. Nope, see you later. You know what I mean? Like, we don't want to take an opportunity, because if someone slips and falls on our floor and busts their neck, then you're suing us, and it's just a weird world we live in now.
That was funny. Like, when I shot that scene that caused the police investigation, we all had to sign, you know, release forms, you know, that they drew up saying if we got hurt, you know, we can't sue, because you know, it's their property, we know the risk, you know, that's on us. Anything that happens, that's on us, you know. And the company's fully, you know, I don't even know the word right now, but
they're not responsible.
Yeah, they're not
liable.
They're liable.
Yeah,
that's it. Liable for us degenerates, you know, making, you know, horror porn.
Horror porn. There's only porn once.
Yeah, torture porn, I guess.
Torture porn. There's only one idea of porn in it. But.
Yeah. One time, you know, someone said, I don't think there's enough sex in your movie. It's like, didn't get enough out of that, you know.
The first 5 minutes?
Yeah, the first 5 minutes.
If you can last the first 5 minutes, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's one other spike, but that you don't see coming. I didn't see coming.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's it's a perfect time to just add that, you know, that sexual element to the movie.
Yeah.
You know, because, I mean, after you hit a kid, I mean, when do you have time to, you know.
Listen, there's two things in a horror movie that I'm always like, man, I like when a horror movie pushes that envelope, because it's such like a taboo thing. And the one is like kids getting hurt.
Yep.
Listen, I'm not sadistic and I want children to get hurt, but if you're willing to do that in your movie, I think creatively your limiter's off.
Yeah.
And you can make the movie you want to make.
Yep.
If that makes any sense. Like
that
the remake of It. When I seen Georgie's arm get ripped off his body, I was like, we are in for a movie.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Dawn of the Dead, where he throws the kids on the couch and shoots them up.
Amazing.
Like,
and then It Chapter 2 doubled the the kid death.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, okay, we get to see 2 kids dying now.
Yeah.
You know?
So that, and then what was the other one I'm trying to think of that if you put it in a movie? Oh, boobs. If there's not boobs in your horror movie, like, what are we doing here?
Is it even a horror movie?
Yeah, like it was like an 80s tradition. Like you had to have a set of boobs in it.
Yep.
And you got boobs in this. They're boobs.
Yeah.
They're nice boobs too. You're going to enjoy yourself. Because I mean, it gave us boobs, but they were on an old saggy lady.
Yeah.
You know,
it's still boobs.
It's still it technically still is boobs, but yeah. If they're nice boobs, you're like, oh, why do they have to be mean? Yeah. I don't want mean boobs. But anything else you want to, in wrapping up or closing here, you want to kind of talk about or put out there for people?
I mean, just follow the page. You know, stick with us. You know, it's hard to get the movie out there the way we want it to be.
Yeah.
You know, Universal or Warner Brothers, they're not going to come knocking at my door asking, you know, for a copy to watch. You know, so we have to put in the time and the work, and that starts with the fan base. You know, the fan base has to first realize that there's a movie like this that's locally made, and then, you know, do everything they can to help to support it.
You should definitely look into making a donation or a Patreon, even if you like, because everyone's like, how come I don't have a Patreon? I'm like, because most Patreons, you have to be willing, you have to give them something with the Patreon.
Yep.
I don't have the budget to do that yet. Mm-hmm. So I have a donation, and I have Teespring, where you can like put a logo and make merch, like put your back road on a t-shirt, and like they'll make the shirt, ship it for you, and they give you a cut. It's not a lot of money, but it's better than nothing. You know, it's some type of revenue. That's the only thing I have right now. But I think you should look into a Patreon or even a donation tab. Like, hey, if you are willing and you want to see this movie or you want to help us grow, you know, a small donation just to help us get distribution costs down or something.
Oh yeah,
I think people would definitely look into helping you.
Yeah, we just gotta keep on, you know, pushing. You know, it's a push world. You know, because I mean, we're not gonna get anywhere by, you know, just
sitting there waiting for someone to knock on your door,
hoping. You know? And that's where a lot of indie movies fail, because, like, you know, most people are used to, oh yeah, I'll help you. But in this industry, there's very little help that you can get, you know, besides like your friends and family, you know, that want to support you. Trying to get a complete stranger to help you, it's almost impossible.
Yeah, I actually had someone message me and they're like, hey man, I bought a shirt, and took a picture of themselves in the shirt, and I was like, man, like, I don't even really know you. Thank you for doing that. Like, it's such a cool thing.
And you do have some people like that, and you know, that's where you go to these horror conventions and you actually talk to the fans, and they get to know you too, and they're like, oh dude, he's a pretty cool guy, he's a humble guy, he just made a movie because he wanted to, you know. And really, that's
another reason why we're at this table. I think if more people actually hear you speak, and that's anything, you could be your band, it could be a movie, it could be a business. I think if you sit down and speak and be genuine, and people are like, man, like, they're trying to live their dream, let's support that, you know. Like, and that's what I do.
And you know, I see it every day. You know, my part-time job, you know, you always have people, you know, complaining, you know, about, you know, their food orders or whatever, and it's tough, you know. It's tough to please everybody, you know, especially with a movie like this. I would say it's close to being in the food industry, because, you know,
they do eat.
Yeah,
they do eat. But man, fantastic job. I really, really appreciate you bringing it by and letting us watch it.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
And listen, maybe we'll even do a thing if this gets enough generation and people are really, really liking it, and they share it and they make some comments. Maybe we'll do I'll host. It won't be just be in my living room, but maybe we'll if you guys throw a couple bucks in the guy, you know what I mean, we'll do like a screening or something. Maybe we'll have some more people see it, just to get more people's eyes on it, so they can go and talk about it.
Yeah, know? We're definitely looking into all options for screenings. We're even thinking about doing a free one, you know, just to get people out there to see it, you know.
Yeah, because the more eyes on it, they're going to talk about it. Like, I've seen this local movie.
Exactly. Yeah, because we're at the point now, you know, we might not make our money back, but it's not really a bunch of money to, you know, lose out on. Like, the money's already spent. We have the equipment. We could keep the dream alive. Yeah,
the money that you went into this can go towards the next movie.
Yeah, even some of the props, you know, that we have from the first one, we could reuse for the second one.
Do you have a favorite prop from the movie?
Yeah, I do, and it's gone. My special effects guy sold it. It was the head and torso of Eric, Fox in the movie, and he sold it to a haunted house out
Spoiler alert.
Altoona.
Yeah.
You don't know how he dies anyway. Yeah. But I really wanted to buy it, and he just sold it right from under me. He got some of his money back for the materials, but I mean, I wanted that on my mantle, hang it up on my wall, just that little piece. But
now you got to cut someone else's head off in the next movie.
My favorite is the that's a spoiler, but
oh yeah.
I actually have that in a jar, filled with water, and that's probably my favorite prop, from the movie that I own. But I missed out on the head and torso.
Yeah.
So,
how much of for example, like Ryan when he came with his cowboy hat and his how much of that was actually his clothes, or how much was part of production?
Everything. All the clothes were donated by the actors. They were all, worn by the actors, from their own personal wardrobe. Besides his shirt, that was the only thing that...
'Cause for him, I could see that scene where he's getting sprayed with the blood, and where someone would be like, oh my god, I just ruined this shirt. He's probably like, this made this shirt so much better.
That's a cool thing about the blood. It washes out.
Oh, really?
It doesn't stain pink. We had almost everybody drenched in blood, and all their clothes came out brand new.
Really? Where do you now I know some people will go to the horror movie, the Halloween store, and buy that blood. That will stain your shit.
That's junk.
Yeah.
All movie blood is homemade, and the base is corn syrup, and then a special food dye, not red food coloring, but it's a food powder, food coloring powder, and then soap that helps bring it out. And then that's pretty much all I know. And Tom's probably going to yell at me for giving away his recipe for blood. But it's hard to actually pretty hard to make if you don't know the exact recipe.
It's like making what's the Rick and Morty episode? Making the
sauce?
Fuel. Fuel.
Oh, the fuel.
And then he blows up the other people, the spaceship that they're trying to get it.
Yeah.
But we definitely got to have you back on, and definitely bring your partner next time.
Yeah, I'd love to just talk about horror movies, because that's what I do,
100%. Maybe we'll come back in a couple months here. Maybe we'll even maybe October or something. We'll do a Halloween episode.
Oh, that would be awesome.
And we'll get a round table. Maybe have you, Charles, your partner, a bunch of people that are in the area who love horror movies, and we'll just sit and talk horror.
Because we talked 15% about Backroad, the rest about horror movies.
Is there anything else about the movie you want to get out there or talk about? I want to cut you short here.
Not really. I mean,
I just don't want to spoil it. I don't want to talk too much and then spoil it.
That's my problem, because I've seen the movie a million times, and there's people that haven't seen it at all, and it's I just want the word out there, I want to talk about it, but there's just certain things you can't talk about because it'll ruin your experience watching.
100%, yeah.
But for the most part, I mean, I got everything out that I wanted to.
How many of the actors do you still keep in contact with?
Mostly all of them. There's one that refused credit in the movie, so I don't really talk to them. But for the most part, I'll call, all of them, every once in a while, see how they're doing, and tell them, any news on the project. I mean, for them, the project's over because, now it's in my hands to keep on, pushing it as far as I can. Yeah. But, I mean, they all try to, keep in contact and, say happy birthday on Facebook and all that stuff. Yeah. So,
now, being a huge Romero fan, are you looking to possibly do your own zombie movie?
I always wanted to. I hate remakes, but I always wanted to do a Night of the Living Dead remake.
Yeah.
Not being trapped in a farmhouse, but the whole beginning of the zombie plague. What caused it. I love the Night of the Living Dead comic books. I think I'm pretty sure
They were Marvel and George Romero.
the actual Night of the Living Dead ones.
Oh, really?
Not the
The newer ones?
yeah. What?
Because Romero actually worked with Marvel and did the Marvel zombie universe, where like
Yeah.
all the heroes were zombies. But then I believe I thought they did another zombie comic with Romero as well, like a side project. I could be wrong though.
Yeah, the ones I read were actually Night of the Living Dead, like comic books. They had Escape of the Living Dead and Plague of the Living Dead, and I loved a lot of the backstories, like Ben at the restaurant, ordering food, and the zombies are outside, like flipping over a truck. Like, that's so awesome. But I would just want to explore like that whole beginning of like the downfall of humanity and their introduction to these zombie creatures. I always love that, especially like World War Z. Like, the opening scene to that is just fantastic. I love that movie.
Just like the downfall of everybody.
Yeah, like, it's just chaos. I love chaos.
Yeah.
In movies, not in real life, but in movies, I love seeing that destruction.
One of my favorite Romeros that I don't think gets enough credit, original and remake, is The Crazies.
I love The Crazies. I love both of them.
Yeah.
The remake is better, but I mean, the original, the story's there.
It's a great opening sequence.
Yeah.
He just walks across the field.
It's such a great movie.
Talking about kids getting it.
Yeah, the kids getting it.
That's how you start your movie. You whack a kid and then that's it.
Yeah. There's a lot of, just great hidden gems by Romero. Bruiser is one of my favorites. That was like a direct-to-video release back in like 2000. What else was there?
Another movie that came out that I'm a huge fan of that caught me by complete surprise. I was like, I can't believe I enjoyed this as much. It Follows.
Oh, yeah.
I loved it.
Did you?
I loved it.
You really loved it?
I did. It was so different.
Yeah, that's one of the movies I watched and like I was excited for because I love indie movies, and that's like, that was at the top of my list, like my watch list. And when I watched it, I was just like, what happened? Why did I want to watch this?
Yeah, I watched it the first time and I was like, okay, I have questions. And then I watched it again and I was like, they weren't answered, but I like that they weren't. Like, I kind of want more from that universe.
Yeah, I mean, I could respect that.
And I'm a huge monster movie guy.
I love monster movies.
Like, Clover, everyone when I bring this up, people scoff at me so hard. I loved Cloverfield.
The first one.
I like the whole universe. I want more.
I love the first one. I liked 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Well, that movie could have been amazing even if they never left the bomb shelter and the Cloverfield aspect was added to it.
Yeah, that's true.
It was just a fantastic movie.
The third one, I wasn't...
The Paradox.
Yeah, the Paradox.
It was different, but the end once again, at the very end, when Clover jumps through the clouds and I'm like, well, what happens now? Like, I want... and
Cloverfield 4.
Well, now they're doing this whole thing where he's working on a project where it's a zombie movie.
Oh, wow.
And it's like World War II, and the Nazis discovered this zombie thing. That's like J.R. Abrams' next movie coming out is a zombie movie.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah.
That wasn't Overlord, was it?
No, I don't even think it's out yet.
Okay.
Yeah, because everyone's like, is his next movie a Cloverfield one? And they're like, no, it's this whole zombie thing, like World War II zombie.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. One movie I did see, it's kind of in the horror genre, The Lighthouse, with Robert Pattinson and
I did not see
William
that.
Dafoe.
Everyone says it's fantastic.
It is fantastic. I watched it twice. Like, the first time I was just like, this is kind of weird, but the second time I actually loved it. You know, it's shot beautiful. It reminds you of a Twilight Zone episode, and the acting is like top notch.
So that movie is funny because that is the new Batman.
Yep.
With the guy I want to be the Joker in the worst way.
He would make a perfect Joker.
His smile, his face, his everything would be fantastic.
Did you like the Joker?
I did.
I loved it when I first saw it, and it just kind of came down on me the more I watched it.
I think the Joker to me is is similar to Rick and Morty. I think people like it because it's the cool thing to like, but I think some of the aspects of it go over people's heads.
Yeah. I kind of feel like, you know, I like what Queen Phoenix did. I like what Todd Phillips did, you know, with the story, the acting. But I feel like there should have been more Batman Joker instead of like the beginning of Joker. You know, there really wasn't...
the beginning of Joker and the beginning of Batman.
Yeah. I mean, it is kind of... It's kind of there, but I mean, the Joker I know isn't Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but this is also, you see the transformation where he, like, the biggest thing with the Joker is he's crazy, but he also exudes extreme confidence, and you don't get that with this Joker until the very end. So
That's
the
true.
very end of this movie, you're like, well, this part 2 is going to be the more Joker you're inclined to seeing.
We'll only see.
Yeah.
You know, time will see.
And he's one of those characters that people have a hard time putting a backstory to because he's so mysterious.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when Rob Zombie gave Michael Myers a backstory, people were, no, because it ruins the mystery. So yeah, I kind of hope they do this Robert Pattinson Batman with this style of Joker.
I hope so. I mean, that Joker would be great. You know, you just have to... The makeup. I mean, the makeup was cool, but it's not the Joker we know.
Yeah,
you know?
I think he has to refine his makeup a little bit.
Yeah.
Like he has to learn himself a little more.
But even Todd Phillips said, you know, this might not even be the real Joker. So, is that...
Well, yeah, because the Gotham TV show kind of teased at that, where they had a Joker, but he kind of developed the idea of the Joker, and then somebody else even crazier than him steps in and takes that spot.
Only time will tell, I guess.
Yeah, it was done very well, but I think a lot of people, when you first watched it, people were like, "Oh, this movie can be dangerous," and I'm like, it's only dangerous because you probably feel guilty because you're the person who steps over someone that needs that help.
Yep.
Like you are probably the reason why there's Jokers in this world. And if this movie offended you or upset you because it talked about real life people's mental instabilities, you are feeling guilty because you've probably watched like I said, you stepped over him instead of helping. Where there's other people who could relate, like the people who could relate and they were the person stepped over the whole time. I can just like, because this is why I love the Batman universe, is because as someone who grew up and kind of felt that I could have easily been the Joker, because everyone's one bad day away from being the Joker.
Yep.
It's just, you literally come to a fork in your life where life takes a shit on you and you're like, do I make that right and go to crazy town and just not give a fuck anymore, or do I make a left and I want to make a change?
Yep.
And I'm teased by the right, but I always end up steering to the left, and I'm a Batman guy, you know what I mean? Like, I will fight to the end of my days to make my local place a better area.
Yep.
And then if I see like you, who you're trying to justify the fact that you hurt somebody or you stole or you kicked somebody while they're down because the world shit on you, you know, his parents were killed. You know what I mean? Like, the world shit on him too. And of course, yes, he's rich, but he also stripped all that away and lived poor to even let himself get shit on more, to see if he pushed himself mentally to not go that route. So they're complete polar opposites. You know what I mean? Like,
that's true.
Yeah. So I just love that the whole idea of that universe.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, I never really thought about it like that.
Yeah, because people just say Batman and like, oh, he's a billionaire who just wants to, you know, protect his assets. Like, no, he stripped all that away and lived a life for a while, like disappeared and went off the grid and just put himself in the worst situations possible to push himself mentally to say, like, will I break? You know what I mean? And then when he comes back, he's just refined.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love it. I love the whole idea. I'm just a huge superhero nerd. But all right, well, that'll pretty much do it. Do you got anything else you want to talk about or plug? Or
no, that's pretty much it for me.
I want to thank you again, and definitely got to come back on.
Oh yeah,
and do this. This was fantastic, man.
We'll have a horror movie talk.
Yeah.
4 or 5 hour fucking long horror movie.
Yeah, we might have to break it up a couple episodes, but we'll do it. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll try.
All right, well, that'll do it. Thank you guys so much, once again, for tuning in. If you are here, I should have said in the beginning, but I never do, but hit that like, subscribe button. We're getting closer to making YouTube pay us. Even though we curse, they probably won't. But the higher your sub thing is, the more they put your in that algorithm thing. I don't know. But if you're listening to audio too, you can also hit subscribe and hit all the links below to or if you're watching audio, go over our Facebook page. It'll all be there as well. And check out the links and support this movie and see what you can do to help this guy get it out there so you guys can see it. We're going to wrap it up here, and here's some more Churches and Trains to get us out of here.
Without medication, can't let my thoughts run wild while I still think I got one, and I care too much about my reputation, and I'm tired of sleeping on this floor. Yeah, I'm tired of sleeping on this floor.